Greetings, it's Sniper in your midst. Today I'll be teaching you how to pull the music out of the games Portal and Portal 2. The first thing we need to do is get a program called GCFscape. Let's go ahead and open your web browser and search for GCFscape. Okay, the website you'll want is nemesis.thewavelength.net. Now there's two different ways to get this program. You can get it in an installer format and an archive format. The installer format is just a plain old Windows executable that will install everything for you and you'll be set to go. The archive is a zip file. It's a little smaller, and I believe it just contains all the necessary files. It doesn't install itself. The run times are stuff that you would need to run GCFscape if you didn't have it. If you have Windows set to use Windows Update, you should be just fine. So we'll go ahead and get the installer. Go ahead and save file. Nice little perk is it's not real big, doesn't take very long to download. Okay, there we are. Now we go and find the file. Okay, the file we're looking for is GCFscape182.exe. Go ahead and run that. Okay, they have a very simple and straightforward installer. Nothing complicated. Has a simple little license. You can choose where you want to install it. Also where you want your start menu folder to be. Now this area is where you can create your desktop icon if you want. There's also this area where you can associate different file formats. Now this is something I would leave alone unless you know what you're doing, especially because like VPK right here, this is for use by the source engine. Source engine uses that, and so if you use the source SDK, you may encounter problems if you associate that with GCFscape. So we'll just leave that and install it that way. Okay, we'll go ahead and run it. Now there's Portal and Portal 2, they set up the file structure differently. So we'll start with Portal. Click Open. Now, if you got it through Steam, this is the way to do it. If you have two program files like this, because Steam is installed in program files, you have program files and program files x86. The difference between those two is program files is for 64-bit programs and program files x86 is for 32-bit programs. I can't really explain that. That would take too long. That's for another video. Just comment if you want me to explain that. So, for right now, Steam is a 32-bit program. So, if you have a 64-bit operating system like I do for Windows, then it'll be an x86. If you have 32-bit, x86 won't even exist. It'll just be program files. So you won't have to worry about that. So once you're inside program files, scroll down to the folder Steam. This is where all your Steam files are and where all your Steam games are kept. So what we want to do is go to the folder Steam Apps. For Portal, there's a whole bunch of folders and then a whole bunch of NCF and GCF files. The folder we are looking for is portalcontent.gcf. Okay, there's two folders in here, Portal and Res Lists. We want Portal. This is where a lot of materials are kept. We want the folder Sound. Now here's where most, if not all, the sounds are kept. You have ambient sounds, all the commentary. These are weapon sounds. Now for now, we want the music folder. And in here, we have a whole bunch of MP3 files that have all the music that's played inside test chambers. And the very popular Still Alive, the song played by GLaDOS at the very end of the credits, at the end of campaign. They're all MP3s, which is very handy because it keeps file size small, but quality still very high. You can pop that right onto an MP3 player if you want. You can also send that through iTunes to convert that to the M4A format for iPod, 3DS, and DSi. To get these out, all you have to do is it's just like dragging them from one Windows Explorer window to the other, like if you're copying files to a uh, 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 SD card, that kind of thing. You can just drag and drop individual, hold down Shift to select individual, use Control to select individual ones, and deselect, that kind of thing. Then we can also go back and look at the other ones, ambient sounds. There's a whole bunch of stuff. If you look hard enough, you can actually find the sounds for the turrets and for GLaDOS. Now, to get Portal 2 music, it's slightly different. We want to still be in the Steam Apps folder, but we want to go to another folder called Common, and then to the folder Portal 2. Inside the other folder, Portal 2, we have a whole bunch of folders, but we're interested in all these VPK files down here. There's a whole bunch of them. Portal's a pretty big game. So now we have pack01dir.vpk. That's the folder we want. Okay, we want the folder called Sound. Now here we have a ton of folders. Portal 2 is bigger, more active. They had more ambient sounds and all stuff like that. So we have ambient sounds, there's an alarm sound, commentary, door sounds, all sorts of stuff. What we're looking for is music. Now inside music, there's a whole bunch of stuff, lots of sounds. These are all WAV files, so they're bigger, but they are of awesome quality, completely uncompressed. That does make them a little big, like I said, high quality. You can send these through iTunes if you want to put them on your iPad, DSi, whatever. Just like the MP3s. You just can't put these directly on an actual like MP3 player. You have to use a converter to do that. There's lots out there. You just gotta Google it. The ones called MP Coop and then a name are all the ones that are inside the co-op multiplayer. Disassembly is the sound that plays when your robot is being disassembled. Hallway sounds are the sounds inside test chambers, and lobby is inside the big lobby where you can choose which testing track to go on. Now, Robots FTW is that really groovy song that plays at the end of the co-op campaign when you save science, and so now you're watching the credits. That's the song that plays. That's very nice. Want You Gone is the song that GLaDOS sings at the end of the single-player campaign. Also very well made. Now, the songs after that, I actually wouldn't even call them songs. They are music, but they're kind of like split up a bit, and they seem kind of fragmented and disjointed. There may be somebody out there that makes sense of this, but I really just didn't understand it. Now, there are certain WAV files, like I believe this one is one, where it just sounds like it's Grover from Sesame Street with an echo effect on him mumbling like a madman. It's just weird. All sorts of stuff. The sounds from when you're being catapulted by a faith plater in here, when you're inside of a excursion funnel, all that stuff. There's also a folder in here called Main Menu. If we open that, there's the 5 background sounds. Those are for the 5 different backgrounds in Portal 2. Each background has its own song in order. So those are pretty nice. I would recommend getting those too. So that's all the music. There's also a whole bunch of different, like you could look at the sounds, like you could actually find the buzzer that happens when Wheatley fails his hacking attempt and all sorts of stuff. So that's how you do it. Thanks for watching, and I hope it helps. God bless. Bye.